What do you and I need to do to be healthy? There is so much information out there, the bloggers, the Facebook experts, the Instagrammers who look amazing and are spouting health advice. Where do you start? Well, can I suggest that you take down all those post-it notes, stop reading the blogs of whoever, and look at just 3 things in your life when it comes to health. Eat, sleep, and move. As simple as that. Eat more real food, eat less junk food. When it comes to sleep, 7 hours minimum. And when it comes to movement or exercise, exercise more. It really is as simple as that. Life is so much better when you're healthy, and being healthy is so much easier than you thought. Eat, sleep, move. Finally, most of us know that mantra. Exercise is this miracle drug. It combats chronic disease. It helps maintain weight. It boosts brain power and sex drive and energy and immunity. It's this wonderful, free, addictive drug. But most of us are not getting our daily dose. And the reason why is because we don't have a why. In fact, if you thought about your why for being healthy, if you don't have that, it doesn't matter how much you eat, sleep, or move, you're never going to stick to that. You need to figure out what your why is. But let's go back to movement for a moment. What's the minimum dose of exercise required? And that really depends what you want to do. If you want to run a marathon, download a training program and follow the training program. But if you just want good health, quality of life, the guidelines are 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise every week. That's half an hour a day, 5 days a week of moderate intensity exercise. Surely you can do that. If you don't have time for that, you can halve that time with vigorous intensity exercise. 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise every week, that's the guideline. That and 2 days of strength training. And I'll tell you in a moment why that's important. But that's all. So that's how much. The next issue around exercise is how hard. How intensely should I be training? Well, exercise has got 3 classifications: low intensity, moderate intensity, or vigorous intensity. All right, moderate 150 minutes, vigorous 75 minutes. How do I know the difference? Well, you could wear one of these fancy watches, or you can just do the talk test, which simply goes like this. If you can sing while you're exercising, you're not exercising. That's low intensity. If you can talk while you're exercising but not sing, that's moderate intensity. And if you can't talk while you're exercising, a few words between breaths, that's vigorous intensity. So now you know how much, you know how hard. What about the type of exercise? What's the best exercise in the world? And every single CrossFitter out there is going, he's going to say CrossFit. No, not CrossFit, not running, not swimming. The best exercise in the world, are you ready for this, is the exercise that you will do. It sounds lame, but it's true. Science has shown that one exercise doesn't have a benefit over another type of exercise as long as you do it at the right intensity for your fitness levels, which means dancing works. Gardening, if you can garden at intensity, works. Pick the exercise that you enjoy because you'll keep doing that. What about that strength training I mentioned? 2 days a week of strength training exercises. And by that I mean your push-ups and your body work, your resistance training. The importance of that is that if we are inactive as adults, what we find happening to our bodies is we get a reduction in muscle mass, we get a reduction in metabolic rate, the rate at which our body burns fuel, and an increase in fat accumulation if we're inactive. The only kind of exercise that combats those 3 horrible outcomes of being inactive is strength training. We get an increase in muscle mass, we get an increase in metabolic rate, the rate at which we burn fuel, and a decrease in fat accumulation. That's why it's so important to incorporate muscle strengthening exercises with our cardiovascular exercises. One last thought on movement. We can exercise as much as we want to, but if we sit for too long periods at a time, we undo all the good that exercise is doing. The studies now show that if we sit for periods of 90 minutes or more, we have a 200% increased risk of early death. I mean, it's as serious as that. In fact, there was a great study that showed for every cigarette we smoke, or someone smokes, we shorten life expectancy by 11 minutes. Compared to every hour that we sit, we shorten life expectancy by 22 minutes. Sitting is the new smoking. And just because you're getting your exercise in the morning doesn't mean you can sit for extended periods of time. It's like smoking and exercising. Smoking is still bad for you, just like sitting is still bad for you. Those that are active and still sit, we call active couch potatoes. You do not want to be sitting for extended periods of time. So what do? The American Heart Association says, sit less, move more, not particularly helpful. A guideline here is every hour, make sure you get up for 5 minutes and do something active. Make a phone call, have a conversation, pick a fight with someone if you must, but do something active every single hour. And you'll combat the negative effects of sitting for extended periods of time. Guys, it really is as simple as that. Life is so much better when you're healthy, and being healthy is so much easier than you thought. It comes down to eat, sleep, and move. When it comes to eating, more real food, less junk food. When it comes to sleeping, 7 hours minimum, cool, dark, and quiet. And when it comes to exercise, just move more. There you have it.